your side. All right. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Max. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I'm Max Stager, and I'm a relationship coach, and I'm a licensed professional counselor. And we're going to talk today with Linda Schwartz. And Linda, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I am a Zumba instructor, Zumba fitness instructor, and also a wellness coach. And I focus on vegetarian food.
Ah, so you work vegetarian? Uh-huh.
Vegetarian, vegan, yeah.
Yeah. We can see the Zumba sign in the back. So you do Zumba too. So you work
Yeah.
out and you teach it. Yeah. Great. And so we're on this trek, and we're going to have we wanted to talk about just some basic dieting kinds of things versus a yo-yo diet kind of history.
Right.
Yeah. Or you've had that history, and lots of people have.
That history, yeah. But I've changed my whole situation because of so many things that have happened in my family. So,
Yeah, there's been some things that have happened in your family, health concerns. So you want to focus on your nutrition. You got concerned about your eating. So yeah, and so you've made a lot of changes, and you've been able to kind of follow this for quite a while now.
yes, it's been since April 2010, actually.
So for 11 years.
Yes.
Yeah. And you do it. Yeah. And you've been able to keep off becoming more and more healthy. You've figured a lot of things out over that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I really had to learn a lot about nutrition. Give you a basic reason why I started.
Right. Yeah.
Which is because my mother passed away from diabetes, and then my brother got it a year later.
Oh.
I was totally afraid myself, and I said, what's going on here?" And at that time, I was a little bit overweight. I knew I had to drop weight at that time, but I didn't even want to focus that. I wanted to focus on my health. I really got scared. But she had diabetes, and she had heart disease, and I had to really find out what was going on with everybody in the family, and then I focus on myself. So I started to research, and my mother passed in 2007. Then my brother got his diagnosis in 2008. So I started research since then, but then I became much more connected. In 2010 was when I really said, okay, my focus is on my health. The weight, that will take care of itself in some way, but I'm focused on feeling good in all ways. So it all started with my digestive issues with IBS. Started with that.
Oh.
We don't have to go deep into that.
No. I mean, yeah, you don't have to go into it. Well, I've had that issue myself, so I know not everybody likes to hear the details, but there are some real tummy problems that you've had with IBS that are very uncomfortable. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable, and it's hard to know what's going on and what you eat, and then you get sick, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as I've gone through everything, and as I've been learning all about the digestive system and all the different foods that I can eat myself, that I can eat properly to nourish my body and feel healthy and feel good. So by learning all that, within the first year, or even less than that, I couldn't believe I had dropped 30 pounds. And every time I would go on the scale, I would say, it's not going to stay, it's not going to last. And I didn't trust it. And I was like, it's going to come back. That's how I felt. I didn't even pay attention so much. I was just like wondering, why are my skirts getting too big on me at that time? I was wearing at that time a size 14.
Oh.
And gone all the way down to a size 4.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa. Now I got to start really. At first, I started taking in my skirts because I wasn't sure it's going to work. I'm going to stay with it. And no, I just got myself into a frame of mind where I've got to take care of the rest of my life for myself and my family, So I'm like that till today. And then later on, of course, as we moved out to California, I added fitness.
Ah,
So that's how I became an instructor and going more and more deeper into wellness. And by now, I have dropped not just the 30 pounds I lost 11 years ago, but I have lost more. So
oh,
I'm going to my goal weight and I will get there. I'm only 3 pounds away. I will get there. However,
you're
that's
pretty
like an
close.
extra, yeah, I mean, it's an extra um, joy and passion that I have.
Sure, it's your
And,
goal. Yeah.
it's a goal because I never thought, they say out there all over Facebook and all over places, well, you can focus on having a dream body or a dream this or a dream that. And I'm like, well, I never bothered. And now I got myself into not just Zumba and look at everybody and finding people in my own age and then finding bodybuilders and getting in that part of fitness. So I joined with someone who is now my own personal trainer. And she's
Yeah.
been teaching me a lot of different things. So I mean, I really have taken on the personal training now about 4 months, 5 months already. And I love it. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better, looking better. But
Great.
my focus really is to really help other people so that they can see results for themselves.
Okay.
Because there are changes that they need to do to get the transformations they want. It's not just about the outside. That's a
Hmm.
reward for what you do on the inside.
Mm.
You know, what you do to
You
heal
felt better at first? Is that what you're saying?
yes,
Inside, you felt like you were
absolutely.
describing that you're saying, oh, I felt better. I didn't even really worry about the outside. And then I was just losing weight. And then, but it felt really good. And you added the Zumba in. It sounds like that was a next level after you had done then you go, oh, I can add this. So it wasn't all at once. It's over a period of what?
Over a
Yeah,
period of
years.
time. Yes.
Yeah.
For me, it's become a total lifestyle, a way of life, and now it's become even more of a passion, a love and joy, and not just a career, but everything. I just love it. It's just the way you live, you
Ah,
know,
it's a lifestyle.
a lifestyle. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I have learned my way of not just the mindset, but the foods that I eat help me to be who I am and help nourish my body.
Ah,
And everything again in moderation. What about yourself when you're looking to help yourself maybe feel uplifted, let's say, throughout the day?
mm-hmm.
It's very, very important to drink and eat the right foods.
Ah, eat and drink the right foods.
That's
Okay.
correct.
So that's yeah, so we've got this whole nutrition piece, and sometimes it's hard to know where to start. And so where is a good place? You started kind of gradually. I know that you kept learning things and you've added things over the years, and you were motivated because of the health concerns that you said, I'm a little bit, I don't want to, I'm a little more than I want to be, and my mom, and then my brother, and your mom passed away. So it made you a little worried, and then your brother got it, and you're like, oh my gosh, you got more motivated, but it still took time to develop all that. So so you don't have to do it all at once. It doesn't sound like you can, I suppose, if somebody wanted to, but you would just do moderately start getting into that kind of changing the way that you eat and do things, that your health, you would approach that in steps, it sounds like. Not necessarily, depending on the person, yeah, where they're at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, not everybody has the same situation, one to another. Experience what I've experienced with my own parent, my mother, even my father had heart disease. I mean,
right.
so many things we see and feel within the family, and but our own selves, we have to look at our own selves and our feelings about taking care of ourselves.
Yeah,
Main thing, and I want people to feel healthier as well as I feel healthier.
right. And so that's your passion.
Yeah.
is to have a healthy lifestyle and help other people. So where is there a diet? A lot of times people sign up for diets, right? And so they sign up for, all over the TV and internet. You can see those diets. Not necessarily, they're not all bad. They just have an approach, and yours is probably a little different than that. It sounds a lot more gradual than that for someone.
Yes.
Yeah. So where would you start? Like with carbs, or what would you start with?
You want to eliminate the carbs because that's what brings the fat and the sugar and the starch. You want to eliminate as much as you can,
But they
let's
taste
not
really
jump.
good, don't they?
Oh, they taste amazing, but you got to be careful which ones. You got to be
Right.
careful which ones you do eat and how much of it you eat.
Ah,
We all have that little part of us that says, you know what, it tastes really good. I think I'll have another one, or we all feel like that, right? But we
right.
have to be careful, and that has to be within us, and we have to develop that.
But
And
it takes time to do that. And then do you
exactly.
help people with that piece? Or do you, because you don't sound very, some people feel ashamed when they can't keep it up, or they eat, a piece of cake or, candy, and then they feel guilty and then they stop, like it can throw them completely off because they're not supposed to do that. But it sounds like you try to be moderate, and you go, well, you mess up, oh, or you have it and you enjoy it, just move
Yeah.
forward. Don't keep eating more of it, though, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, you have to do things in moderation with everything. You
Hmm.
don't want to overdo it at the gym, like work out 4 hours, let's say, in one
Right
day.
off the bat, you
Oh,
mean? Yeah, some
yes,
people do it, but they're training for something big and they've worked at that for quite a while to get to that level, or they've been goofing around in the gym for 4 hours. But, some people
correct.
go to socialize and other people are, yeah, but you can't just go and be an
You can't
instant
everything in
athlete.
moderation. Yep,
Right.
everything. I mean, everything. If you think about even your own body physically on the outside,
Hmm.
you look at yourself the way you were when you first were coming into the world and you were a little child going through the years and as a teenager, and how were you eating, how were you living all those times, and the way you are today. And if you look at your history and you let the history go and say, okay, now I've analyzed a little bit of that. Now, how can I fix myself? How can I realize what is much healthier for me as a nutritious meal, as a nutritious way of living? Um, where can I get my nutrients to give me what I need in my body? It's
Mm,
not just the focus on the size, on the weight so much.
right.
That takes time. It's more the focus on taking care of yourself.
Oh,
Taking
you're
care of
taking care
yourself.
of yourself.
That's
Oh,
right.
you
You
don't
take
beat in yourself into submission because that's how it feels, right? Some of these diets feel like you're
true.
kind of
I know
torturing
I've gone
yourself.
through it. We've
Yeah.
all gone through it. But
Oh,
it's
sure.
like
Yeah.
everybody wants that quick, immediate self gratification. That's it. I need to go to a wedding in 2 months and I need to drop 10 pounds so I can get into that dress. But guess what? We've all gone through it. It doesn't work, it doesn't last.
Right.
We need to change our mindset. That's the only way we can look inside ourselves and say, hey, what do I need to do so that I can keep that weight off forever and
Hmm.
keep feeling better, keep feeling healthier, so that I cannot just wait till 2 months down the road where I've dropped the 10 pounds and I'm in that dress. And then, of course, after you go to the wedding, you're eating while you're in the dress. You come
Eating
out,
all the cake at the
yeah,
wedding. And you're like, I can eat as much as I want because
exactly.
yeah.
You want to be able to think that no, I should be able to get into a size whatever at any time because my weight is down.
Right.
No, you shouldn't have to think so much. And we all get bloated. We all don't feel good sometimes, and we just have to learn how to manipulate what we need to do. You
Right.
know,
There's things you can do when you get bloated or you're, yeah, whatever that kind of
feel so
feeling
good.
is. to kind of
And I
turn
know
the corner. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I speak to people that are fit for many years. And
Mhm.
sometimes if they go off and they eat a little too much salt or they eat a little bit too much of something else, they don't feel so good.
Mm.
One of my friends actually went to her in-laws for 3 weeks, you know, to her family with her husband. They all went to Puerto Rico to visit the family, and she didn't want to hurt her mother-in-law's feelings.
Mm.
Her mother-in-law offered her some kind of food which was really delicious, and she didn't want to hurt her feelings, so she said okay. So she ate like the plate of food, and then she didn't feel good.
Ah,
Just a few minutes after, she felt bloated. She had to go lay down. So we all go through those things, but
yeah,
you have to know what's right for you.
yeah.
And so, then her husband had to interfere, of course, But anyway, not to go all into that, but
No, no, but yeah,
yeah,
this person, they were trying to make the mother-in-law happy, and they probably got too much. And in some cultures, you want to eat all of it because you don't want to be offensive.
yes,
And so then she eats the whole thing, and then she feels not so great
yes.
afterwards.
And she
And
had to
then
go
she's
lay down.
struggling. Yeah.
She had to go lay down, and I felt bad because she knows what to do. She just felt awful, and she didn't want to hurt her mother-in-law's feelings. But and then obviously her husband had to go and talk to her. But you
Talk
know,
to the mother. Yeah. And then he's getting involved because he's worried about her. And then,
that's
yeah,
right.
mom, don't give her any more of that. That doesn't,
That's
yeah, it's
right.
not you, mom, it's her. It's just where she's coming from. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
mean,
And the mom was trying to probably be nice to her because and it could be a cultural thing because sometimes when you go to a certain place, they have certain kinds of foods that they tend to eat.
right.
Yeah.
So everybody, a lot of people go through it in the families and by themselves or whatever. But and yes, you can dream eventually about having the so-called dream body that you want to have, but that's not the end all be it all kind of thing. You want to take care of your health. You want to take
Okay.
care of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing.
So you're
And
trying to take care of people, taking care of what's going on the inside, and then it will start to show up on the outside. And it's not necessarily that, I mean, it can be kind of gradual. You don't have to do it all at once. I mean, you might be motivated by a wedding or swimsuit season or whatever it is, can be a
yes,
motivator, but it may not be the end piece that you'd want to create because of the way you go about doing that. Yeah. I mean, you can stop eating for eating very much. And then, yeah, that's not necessarily good. It'll help you lose weight eventually, but then they're not feeling so good. Yeah.
exactly. So you want I want people to be able to feel like they can come into my program, and they can feel all the benefits of the nutrition and proper eating, and I can even teach them how to prepare food, how to prepare green smoothies, for instance. Here's mine.
There's your green smoothie. Not everybody's attracted to the color. Green is good though, right? Typically.
Oh, it's very good. Very
Right.
good,
Yeah.
delicious, dark green leafy vegetables. And
And
you
you
learn
can
a
make
lot.
them into a smoothie that tastes okay.
Absolutely. You can
Because,
make it.
some green stuff is really potent and then others is, it just tastes good. And yeah, it's not, yes.
It is very popular, especially here on the West Coast. We have so many juice bars. On the East Coast, it's become a little bit more, they're starting to recognize, but it's
Yeah.
okay. We all got to grow into everything.
So you wouldn't have to drink that the first thing. You could move towards it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's just something that I know I drink every day because I need it for my body, for my stomach and everything. But I make it in all flavors. You know,
Ah,
I
yeah.
do a lot of different types of recipes. Um, I use different ingredients sometimes. You can make it very sweet. You can make it also very veggie style.
Huh?
There's a lot of different ways you can make your green smoothies.
Sure.
Um, there's a lot of different things.
You
I
can
would,
add into them.
yeah, and people would come to me if anybody comes to me while they're eating whatever they're eating and how do they modify or whatever, I can help them with that. Let them know that,
Little by little. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we know
'Cause
that junk food's got to go out, you know?
eventually, that's not always easy though, is it, for most people to stop eating all
Not,
the junk
you
food?
got to break away from something that you think tastes really delicious, but it's not good for you. I know I
Right.
tried it. I thought that a couple of years ago, I went out with my husband and they opened up this new um, kosher restaurant. It was sort of like a fake McDonald's, you can call it, like a kosher McDonald's type of thing. And I don't
Huh.
like any of that stuff, but we needed to eat something, and it was in the area where we were, and it was already like about 8, 9 at night or something like that. And I thought, okay, but I'll try. Oh, did I get sick after that? So I know myself already. I know my body, and I just want to help people understand that what you eat, you are what you eat. There, it's not a joke. It's not just a fad out there that they put these signs. You are what you eat. You are.
Yeah. Right.
You actually
Yeah.
are. Whatever you put in your body is
And a
what.
lot of the American diet tends to be around carbs. So we have a lot of French fries and fried foods and lots of things with bread, and they taste good, but they cause other kinds of struggles. And they're not always easy to stop, but you can replace it gradually, like you did over
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
I had an experience a few weeks ago, and I was surprised because I go to this vegetarian restaurant very close to my house. When we want to go out, we go there. It's called Veggie Grill,
Uh-huh.
and we love it. And I don't mind eating whatever they have there. It's all vegetarian, and I
Hmm.
don't even watch the calories when I go because I don't really
Right.
eat anything during the day. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I had an experience, and it's not like them, but I had an experience where I asked for a portion of French fries because I do love French fries, and they
Sure.
make them very good. They're usually plain. They bring them to me usually plain. All of a sudden, I'm eating them. They may taste good, but they were soaked in salt, and I said, "Oh my gosh!" So what happens? Usually, you retain water, and when
Hmm.
you munch, it just you can feel that salt, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But I got really upset. I said to my husband, I said, you know what? I'm not ordering the fries anymore.
Because of
And
the effect of it. Yeah.
yeah, it's just so
The salt on the fries, they were a little more healthy. Maybe sweet
they
potato fries or something.
oh, these were regular French fries. They usually bring them to you plain, and you put whatever you want on them. And it
And
just
some people probably don't like them like that. And yeah, for whatever reason, they gave it to you with salt on
yeah,
added. And then you're like, oh no. And then you started
yes,
to feel,
I didn't feel good, and I start feeling bloated and all that kind of stuff. It was not a
right,
good feeling. So we just went there just last week for my husband's birthday. You know,
right.
we went to celebrate a little bit, and I said, "Oh, I'm not
Happy
ordering those
birthday.
anymore."
Yeah,
Sure enough, my husband right away said, "My wife is going to share some of the fries with me because she loves them.
right.
Please, no salt at all."
Sure, you can do that. Yeah,
So they gave the French fries, the portions to my husband, to my daughter, and I just took a couple of them and they were nothing. So I was like able to enjoy a little bit, but I said I'm not ordering anymore after my experience.
it was just too much. Yeah, too big a plate for you
Yeah,
to try to eat all of those. So you had a little bit of his, and he tried to change that
it had no salt. It didn't have the
salt.
salt.
He
So
can add salt if he wanted to, but you didn't have to get any of that. So
no.
yeah, and you had some sugars recently too, right? As I
What?
recall,
Say it
some
again.
sugar in a drink. It was a sugar drink. You try these things periodically, and you tried it
Oh,
out, right?
oh yeah, because
Smoothie. Yeah.
it's supposed to be a vegan vegetarian restaurant, and they had lemonade, which lemonade is fine. When I make it with stevia, and it's
Yeah.
fine for me. I drank their whole, I think it was 18 ounces, 20 ounces of lemonade, and they probably put either regular sugar or like a really awful, awful sugar. And I was surprised because most people that go there are vegan, vegetarian people, you know.
Right.
I was not feeling well at all. So I just said, that's it. I gave the rest of it to my husband because he brought me another one. You can do a refill kind of thing.
Right.
I said, you drink this. I said, you can handle it. I cannot, you know.
It was the
So
sugars in
we
there.
all
You
have
didn't,
this
usually
experience.
they didn't, but this time they did. And then it was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So, and here you are trying, and then sometimes this stuff happens and then you countered it and you tried to manage the effects of that. It sounds like too, from what I remember. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So, you know, we
you
all
don't have
have,
to, you're not perfect is what I'm hearing, but you just keep at it. You just kind of keep at it and you notice what you felt in your body and you go, I don't feel that good with the salt. I don't, they must have put sugar in there because I'm not feeling so great. And so then you're like, oh, so then you came up with options and you adjusted that. Yeah,
and
which
you know,
doesn't sound so hard, sounds relatively easy. You're just making little changes and you're down the road a ways, but now you're really aware, oh my gosh, I don't want to eat that again because it wasn't so great. Yeah,
correct. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So,
that's you know that's the kind of thing that those are the kind of stories that I can share with everybody because I've been there, done that, and I know to even till today, I still am I'm very careful wherever I go. As a matter
yeah.
of fact, I was told by my personal trainer, bring your food with you. Prepare all your food in advance and bring your food with you. So if I'm not able to bring food, so I'll just bring a protein shake. That will
Mhm.
satisfy what I need for nutrients and that will keep me afloat. I feel really good like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and you figure, I mean, you just try to adjust, and then sometimes, yeah, you have places that you tend to go out to that you could trust usually, but even then, sometimes they might mess, like whatever they add in, and it doesn't agree with you. So you try to notice, you try to eat better so you could help somebody else who some people don't realize that they even feel bad at that point. They're not as in touch. And it's taken you time probably to develop that. It wasn't like instantaneously you just felt great. You
Because
just
I
start
used
to
to
feel
smoke.
better and better and better. And you're like, oh, now I don't feel so great. I eat this food here, it doesn't feel so good, or that one. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're already trying to eat pretty well, and it's happened to you. So, yeah.
I mean, it's what we call there are food allergies out there.
Food allergies. Oh,
Have to
yeah.
be very, very careful, you know.
What are
And
common food allergies? What are some common food allergies?
oh my goodness, there are people I've known that suffered strawberries. They would take a bite of a strawberry, and all of a sudden their faces would blow up, and they would get all pink and red, and some of them would have to go lay down or just go right away to emergency. Sometimes it was really bad. So
Yeah.
there's all kinds of stuff. I can't think of anything else right now because I do know
Wheat,
that
right? People get wheat and insensitivity to
right,
wheat.
that's right.
That's a
We
very common one. Yeah. It was so obvious you couldn't think of it for a minute. We talked about it before we got on and
I
recorded.
yeah.
So we were talking about it before, right? Because there's wheat. And what else? Yeah, what else might there be that you could be allergic to?
So let's see what else.
Corn, right? Corn, some people, corn gets thrown into stuff, right? That was another one you mentioned.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
nutritious really. It tastes good. It's a sugary type of vegetable, but
very carb. Yeah.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
even a veg so much. It's really not even a vegetable. Yeah, but we eat it like a vegetable, right? We'll have that as a main veggie, and you're actually eating a lot of carbs at that moment.
right.
Yeah.
But if you have sweet potato, that's good. If you have like not they sell these big huge sweet potatoes today in this, but you don't eat the whole thing. Just take maybe a quarter of it. In some cases, maybe a half. Depends on how big it is. Take a half of it, whatever. But everything in moderation.
Right.
And once you start learning about what's right for you, you know, you need more fiber, you need more protein, you need whatever you need for your body.
Mm-hmm.
that's what your body's gonna crave more of. And so you just, it's a whole scientific thing. I've been like learning forever.
Right. You
I
keep
can't
learning about it, and your 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 laboratory is your body and your family's body at times, right?
right.
You've been
Correct.
doing the lab work right there in yourself, it sounds like. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you remember I told you that I actually found out what's good and what's not good for gout.
Right.
And
Hmm.
so my husband actually had a reaction somehow. We didn't know exactly what it was, but he had a reaction on the day of Thanksgiving last year.
Ah,
It was so bad. All of a sudden, for like about a week, he was all blown up, swollen, and we were like, "What do we do? What's going on?" I started researching,
mm.
and thank God, found the right supplements and the right juices to drink, and he healed within a few days. I mean, he's amazing, just
So he
amazing.
had a gout attack, is what you're saying?
Gout attack, which he never had, and we're like, "What's going on?" I am feeding him well and everything, but there are certain foods that you don't want to eat,
Mhm.
because it causes gout. And it will
Yeah.
cause something like gout or whatever. That's why there are certain foods that you can eat for certain parts of and reasons, certain parts of your digestive system. And
Right.
I know it's very scientific. We don't
No,
want to
no,
like,
well, yeah, and we don't always know this. Just like I posted that one thing or sent it to you about that woman who had found some weeds that actually help reduce pain, and they're not addictive. They're just, yeah, and she put them into a smoothie or something. I was like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even think of that. So yeah. So when you get outside the box, just going to the store, the literal store, it's just like there's all these kinds of things that are available, and you've learned for yourself, and you're a vegan, right? You're vegan. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
not a
yeah,
vegan, but yeah, I
we're
certainly
vegan.
have
I was
gluten and
vegan
dairy
before.
issues. So yeah.
Yeah, that's my issues. Gluten. I'm gluten free, dairy free. I don't drink regular cow's milk. As I
Right.
said, I'm not a suckling calf, you know.
Right. So you
So
drink, what kind of milk do you drink?
yeah, I drink coconut milk, almond milk, rice milk, and they're fairly easy to. Some of them are fairly easy to make. Rice milk I've never made. I have a feeling how it's made, but I've made almond milk before.
Hmm.
Coconut milk I've never made, but I drink that type of milk, and whenever I'm making my protein shakes, I put the powder in those milks for about 16 ounces, let's say, and that's my protein shake.
You have water and then you add the powder in. Is that what you
No,
do?
no water. No, sometimes I'll drink the powder, the protein powder with water, so it's less calories and it's very good. And then sometimes I'll put milk instead, you know. And
You
then
mean one of these kinds of milks?
yes, I
Yeah.
will not
Coconut
drink.
milk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not cow milk, but
no,
one of the other milks.
yes,
Okay. Yeah. So then you make your smoothies with those.
correct.
Okay.
It's very good. And there's also these delicious dairy-free yogurts, which are really good.
Hmm.
I'll have that myself. But
Hmm.
the ways that I can show people to help them learn about nutrition would be teaching them what's really nutritious for you in terms of greens and all kinds of vegetables and how you can make your food taste good. You don't have to say, "Oh my goodness, do I have to eat like a rabbit?" Am I
Right.
gonna just have salads all day and
Just
it's
eating
not
a
gonna,
carrot and some
yeah,
lettuce. Yeah.
no, you don't.
Well, there's other things you can do to make it more
Yeah,
nutritious and taste better. So
right. Like I make stir fry vegetables. I make them all the time. I put everything into a pot with all kinds of delicious seasonings, natural seasonings,
yeah,
a little olive oil in there, mix it
olive
well.
oil. Wouldn't you
Oh
just use regular veggie oil? I would use olive oil,
yes, extra virgin olive oil.
extra virgin. Yeah.
right.
Is that better
Very
for you?
much better, much
Okay.
healthier for you.
It's better for you if you have that. What are other good oils for you?
There's coconut oil.
Coconut oil. Again, coconut shows up.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Has
Coconut
a
oil.
slightly different flavor to it than olive oil does. Yeah.
Very, very good. Very nutritious. You could also use avocado oil. It's good. There's quite a few, but those I would say the three, the top
Those
three.
are the top three ones that you tend to use and you'd recommend. And then they fill you up. Those oils help you to feel full.
Yeah, you can put them on your salads. You could stir fry with them. I tend to have to eat because of my stomach issues. I have to eat warm vegetables. I very rarely eat cold salads because I can't digest raw vegetables too much.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So you have to kind of like adjust it a little. So you probably cook a batch of veggies and then you have them later kind of thing.
Exactly.
Warm them up maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's lots of options like that. So we've
Yeah.
covered a lot today, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. Yeah. And it wasn't that, there's nothing that complex. I mean, there's a science behind it. There's a lot, but you're trying, you're trying to make it easier for people to, make these changes, make them gradually. You've been there yourself. You've worked at it. It didn't take that long, but you've been able to fine tune it over the years even. So, yeah, and you still try stuff out and sometimes it just isn't a good fit.
Always new. Yeah, there's always new information. I look outside of myself as well as
Sure.
inside
Yeah.
myself. I know
It's obvious you read and you study other people and you've learned some things and then you apply it in the laboratory. That's Linda's laboratory. So, right? Right in here, right in the
yeah,
body, right?
that's
So,
right. And I even helped my daughter. She lost weight. She lost, I think, 30 pounds last year, something like that. She lost.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And she felt good about
yeah.
it? Yeah.
Well, and now my daughter has become an amazing baker and a cook.
Ah,
She
she
knows how to make really good stuff. So sometimes she takes over the cooking for me, so I don't have to do it all myself.
great. So she got so enthusiastic. She's now doing the cooking for you guys too.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing that she was like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool. Yeah, she has energy to do it.
Yes.
Wow, that must be fun to watch that with your daughter.
She's good. She does a great job. She makes for us on Fridays, a lot of the Shabbos food. Sometimes I do all the cooking, sometimes she does all the cooking.
Right, that's your Sabbath is on the Friday nights.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to prepare foods ahead of time and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also prepare pretty much at that time, I prepare for the whole week.
Right, because you're doing some cooking anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you just do a bunch of cooking right at the same time.
We do. This way
Yeah.
it's for a lot of days and we don't have to worry like, oh no, what am I going to eat this day, that day, it makes it that much easier.
Right. Little bit of planning maybe, but not a lot.
Not too
If you have
much.
enough frozen stuff, you're like, well, you just pick something you've liked. So,
True. And that's the frozen food that I would cook and freeze it maybe, let's say.
right, not with preservatives, but your own. Right.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have lots of food and some good food. Some of it, some people plan a lot, some people don't plan as much, but some of it's just cooking extra, right? You just cook extra and you keep doing that until you have a bunch of, depending on your freezer space and refrigerator space, but you can cook a bunch of stuff and it's a variety of things over time.
Right. And then, of course, anytime you put things in the freezer, it lasts longer, right?
Right.
Put a bunch of meals in the freezer and they last, and you just take one at a time and you defrost it and heat it up, right?
Yum, yum. Yeah, and then you're ready to go because you got it right there.
There you go. And this way you have to think. If that's what happens when you're in the process of trying to diet and figure out what do I do, and you open the fridge like, what am I cooking today? What am I making today? What am I going to eat now? I've got to go here, whatever. This way, it's done, prepared, and ready to go. You don't
Right.
think about it. It's just
Yeah.
done.
You don't have to worry about all that, especially when you're hungry at that moment. Sometimes you, yeah, like you were saying, oh, we'll just go to this place. And then you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't done
You
that.
don't want to do that. You don't want to just grab anything because then there's long-term effects. Then you're like, oh, I just put these many calories and I got to work out that much more or something like that. You don't want to do that.
And you might not feel that great
That's
afterwards. So
right.
yeah, some of the fast foods, even the kosher faster place was like, you
Oh,
wanted it to be good. It was a better fit, but it wasn't quite what you needed.
no.
So yeah,
That was really, I told my husband, I said, never, ever again. So,
right.
what I find is the best thing for me to carry with me is fruit. So, like, I'll carry bananas because that has potassium, kiwi, and I'll just eat those if I'm
Where do you
out
keep a
somewhere.
kiwi in your purse? Do you keep a kiwi in your
No,
purse?
they don't put a plastic bag.
Plastic
It's just
bag or a container so it doesn't get all, if I carried it around, it'd be all smashed. That's why I was like, I got these images of bananas and they're smashed. I was like, you might want to put them in a container, but whatever you can do. Yeah, depending on how you carry stuff. Mine's bound to be all bruised up. So I'm like, I'd probably put it in a, little package so it wouldn't get smashed up as much. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Well, for instance, when I'm going to be, let's say I'm teaching 2 classes or 3 classes in a day or something, and they're spaced out in my schedule. So
right.
I tend to bring protein shake with me. I'll carry packets of protein shakes.
So you can just make it if you need
I
to.
can make it with the water, you
Right.
know. And I'll also carry some fruit with me. I'll carry bananas. Maybe I'll slice up everything before I leave, put them
Yeah.
in a canister, and keep it in a plastic bag. Keep it in the car. And when I'm finished with my classes, when I need to eat something, I grab that. I drink a lot of water, and good to go. And then I keep myself like that throughout the day.
Okay.
It refreshes me. So that's what I would teach people. What I do for myself is what I would teach people, and everybody will take it in their own
Style, way.
style, and they do what's right for them. You know, we all have our own bodies and sizes of our body and whatever, and we just need
Make the
to
way people's bodies are shaped and like everybody's a little different. There's
correct,
some commonality, but a lot of differences too.
right.
So yeah, they figure out what works for them. Some people have allergies to this and not to that. And so you got to figure that out. And yeah, especially with all the changes in modified foods, and then it gets a little trickier. And yeah, trying to figure all that out. And we already run into some of that, I think, right? You were talking about strawberries and people can react to a strawberry, and plenty of people eat strawberries and no problem, but a few people can't do that. So
It's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's why
So
there's, that nut allergy that's out there. What do they tell parents when they bring their kids to school? If
right,
you're
I know you can't even bring, you have to be very careful what you bring, and sometimes they have to bring store-bought food so they know what the ingredients are, and there's a warning sometimes. I don't know how they all do it, but I hear about it now.
right,
Yeah, so the other kids, and I've known kids with severe allergies like that, and they can get traumatized. I've seen them traumatized because they get the reaction is so strong. So they try to be very careful, not everybody obviously, but if you have some really severe reactions, it's very scary at times. So
true.
yeah,
I had a friend actually, I'm thinking about it now. She had a terrible nut allergy, and every time she'd come to me, see, I would forget about it because I don't see her often. So she came to me one time and she would say to me, what are those cookies made out of? I always make very good stuff. And I said to her, it has oatmeal and let's say almonds. She would say, forget it, I can't have it.
because she's allergic to
Yeah.
almonds.
She's
Yeah,
allergic to all the nuts. She can't eat
right.
any nuts at all. Not even
No,
nuts.
peanuts can be a big one, but then there can be other ones too, depending on, yeah,
So
the individual difference. Yeah, this person couldn't have anything like that. Yeah,
no. So I had to watch everything. So when I have people over, I always ask them, what are you able to eat? So I try to accommodate them when they come over.
Yeah,
'Cause not everybody can handle what I eat or whatever.
right.
So I try to make
I
everything
love those kind of friends. Yeah. The
good.
ones who ask me and they just plan gluten-free stuff for me because I can't eat certain things. And then, yeah, it's so nice. And they often, the ones who really, I mean, like, they go, it's no big deal. I just get different stuff. It's not like it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they feel good about it. And yeah, and I don't get sick. So that's always a win-win. So, yeah,
There you go. It's very, very important, that we
yeah,
reach into ourselves and we think of other people, right?
right. And
Try
you
to
try to
help
be
out.
giving to others and to your clients. You're very, yeah, you're very supportive of where they're at and where they're wanting to head. Yeah, I know you've given just little bits of information to me that I used. I go, I make these little change, this little change. I go, oh, I'm gonna try that out. Oh, that did work. Wow, that was great. It's just like these little course adjustments. Some things are bigger, but there's lots of things that are just little adjustments here and there. And you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, like it's just fairly easy. Yeah. If you want to know more, huh?
Once you get the hang of it, you get into a whole regime. Some people,
Right. You don't start out with a regime, right? You start out ease in, like well, unless you're really some people are just they're going to do it no matter what. And other people, for lots of us, we go up and down, like so. It's
yes, yes,
like yeah, and then it becomes this huge thing, and you got to learn all this stuff, and
yeah,
yeah, which is okay, but it's not for everybody. It doesn't always work. Yeah.
true. I mean, our bodies change, right? They
Right.
change throughout our aging, and we just have to work with it. And
Yeah.
your taste buds change, your food interests change, so you have to work with everything and know what's right for you.
Yeah. So then you make these yeah, you're making these changes and trying to figure out what's going on, and you're trying different things and trying to see what works for you. Yeah. So it sounds like it's fairly simple to get started. So and then you'll let us know, yeah, how to get a hold of you,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah, you've got some groups, and you've got like on Facebook, and then you've got a phone. Probably have a phone,
Yeah,
email. Yeah,
yeah.
so let them know.
So my email address is L, like in Linda,
Uh-huh.
and then my last name Schwartz. Okay.
SCHWARTZ,
ARTZ, number 8 at
number 8
gmail.com.
at what?
L Schwartz 8 at gmail.com.
That seems pretty simple. Yeah. So then they can reach out to
So,
you.
yeah,
Phone number?
they can call me, they can email me, they can text me, even on Facebook Messenger if they want to.
Yeah.
They can call me at 858-652-1597.
There we go. So you're easy to find. Yeah.
I'm
Lots
easy
of
to
different ways to get a hold of you. So
Facebook, Instagram. I'm there.
you're there. Do you have a Facebook page, and what's your Facebook? Do you have a group, or how do you get a hold of you on Facebook?
Yes. When you look up Linda Schwartz, um, there probably are other women with the same name, but you can look through. You see my face here. No, you see my face on the camera here.
You just look for the picture. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
you.
and look for Linda Schwartz Zumba. That's how I
Okay.
look up people when I'm looking for someone who teaches Zumba. I look at like that. I'll look up like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you will see that I also have groups. One of my groups is called Healed by Nutrition.
Ah,
Healed by Nutrition. Another group I have is 50 plus weight loss program. 50
okay.
plus.
For people over 50.
Yes,
Yeah. Mostly women.
women. Yes.
Yeah. But you would work with guys if they
I
were
would work with
interested.
men, but I would have to look up more of the scientific research for questions that they would have directing to themselves and their their amounts of food that they need.
Because it's a little different for guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, their builds tend to be different, the way that they process food.
Right.
Fat levels, the recommended amounts are different than for women. So
Yes.
yeah, but you would be willing to do that if a guy, because you've helped me just in
Yeah.
little ways. I mean, like lots of good ideas. Yeah, so not that you would have to, but that's an option too. Yeah, because you're fairly, I mean, like you seem to ease people into it, and guys have issues around that. Lots of guys get those bellies, you know, so
Yes.
yeah. But yeah,
Beer bellies.
they get beer bellies and they don't always have to drink beer. They just get their tummies when around 50, guys' tummies start to show up. You know, they can show up before then, but that's not unusual for a 50-year-old. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
With testosterone and not moving. Not
Right. Then there's a different thing. Then you can have them join a Zumba group too, because they need to be moving to keep the testosterone up, which helps their body move. Yeah. I mean, process things.
That anybody can join is the Zumba with Linda group. That's my other group.
Zumba with Linda. Okay. And get in there. And I've done one of your classes because I signed up, right? And we did some.
Yes.
Well, we didn't do it together, but it was a recorded one because.
It was a recorded one.
Yeah. Because I was working, I mean, I was working when you were doing the class, but there's lots of options on ways to make that work too. So, okay, great. I think, and the Instagram, what was your Instagram?
My Instagram is LSchwartz8, I believe is.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure if they looked you up, I mean, sometimes you can just find
they should be
that's that way, but you post some things on Instagram too, so they can follow you.
Yes.
I haven't been on Instagram as much, but I have it once in a while. I see it, but not as much as
well, Instagram
Facebook,
and Facebook.
They work together now. Yeah. Yeah. I just mean when I search stuff, I tend to be on Facebook more. Yeah, but for sure.
Well, you know, when you're doing the news feed and the story, they get connected right there.
Yes, they can. You can link them up if you want to. Yes. So for on your side of things, and then people could get the same message either way, because those two are linked together now. So yeah, so one way or another, they can find you. There are a bunch of ways to find Linda Schwartz, 8.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
You got your Zumba, you've got your over 50, you've got your health by nutrition. So you've got, you know, there's a real theme of fitness and health going on there. And your approach is very balanced and it's fairly easy to get. I mean, it's never simple. I mean, it's relatively got a phone number, emails, Facebook, Instagram. So you are around, so they should be able to find you too. So yeah, and then you can follow up and help them where they are. You meet them where they're at. So
yeah, it could be from anywhere in the world. You know.
Great.
Get in touch and we'll get some plan going together and I'll help you. I will.
Right where they're at. Sounds good, Linda. So hang on just a minute, okay? So you just hang in.